right, we are out doing some tapping for the 2023 maple season. Good, Colin. My son Colin out here helping me. We got our family out here running our first maple line, getting some things set up. We've got a whole bunch of our older lines. We've been around this morning checking things and getting things tapped. But yeah, kind of nice to have some help this season, getting going here. And I know my father and my brother have already got quite a bit, maybe a couple 100 gallons that already did a boil the other day. But I'm a little bit colder up where I live, so we all tap red maple trees and the syrup comes out dark and delicious. So we've got our trusty Ryobi drill going. We're using a 5/16 bit to run most of these pretty standard size taps up in the trees. Giving them a little bit of a tap. Nice. So luckily we're just attaching all the lines that we already had set up out here. Thank you, Colin. And we run them to like 5-gallon buckets down at the ends. And yeah. Well, fast forward to collecting. And as you can see, I'm out for one of the first times collecting up maple. I've already got one bucket thrown into this one, and I'm trucking around with the ATV and the sled, collecting it all up. So we'll see what we end up with today. And yeah, I'll have to count how many taps I have out as well. All right, we're at the lines that are underneath the tiny house out here. And as you can see, it is flowing, dripping quite nicely. And pretty much what we do is just take it off and then transfer into a transfer bucket. This one's flowing pretty good right now. I may be able to take that ice out, but I'll leave it all in. Finding some fresh deer tracks out back here on the maple trail, and boy, I'll tell you, I've been out checking on things, but I just realized we had this series of 3 trees tapped and haven't been to this one since the big snowstorm that we got. We ended up getting, I think, about a foot here. We'll see if there's anything in this one. Oh yeah, look at that, a little bit of liquid gold in there. So far today, this setup is doing really well. I'm out here in the way back of the property. I've got my daughter's CF Moto CForce 400, pulling a little old jet sled with four 5-gallon buckets because I wasn't quite sure what to expect for the taps out here in the back of the property. But I came across yet another one that I've never tapped this tree before, so kind of forgot about it. Oh, well, that's been sitting in the snowbank. There we go. Let's see, just a little bit. Oh, a little splash. There's a good one. Yeah. Now some of these trees are in the full sunlight, so they tend to do a little bit better. Although I just checked this one yesterday. Ooh, but it's flowing pretty good. Now I mentioned before, all the trees on my property are red maple trees. I don't own any sugar maple trees. Typically on a sugar maple tree, you'd have about 40 gallons of sap boiled down to equal 1 gallon of syrup. And the sugar content on a red maple tree is certainly less, and I do believe that we have to boil a little bit longer because of this, the sugar content, and that makes the red maple syrup come out a little bit darker. But it is certainly really delicious stuff, and pretty soon I'll be bringing it to show you our evaporator that we've got going for our crew. I'm running about 35 taps here on my property. We're both my brother and father's operations, and we bring all of our sap to the same location to boil. Have a lot more taps, and their trees tend to get a lot more sun like this one here does. For me, most of mine are out in the hemlock forest, kind of bunched up, and their roots don't see too much sun. Anyway, now generally what we do is use these big pickle barrels from the grain store, clean them out really good, obviously, and transfer everything that we pull into these. So I'll do a dump. Now out of the 35 taps I've pulled so far, and I've still got one more area to check, I think I've collected roughly 12 gallons, estimate, so far. Now we keep these the sap in these big barrels, and kind of usually have it stuffed in a snowbank somewhere. It doesn't really want to get warmer than, say, 50 degrees or even 40. It'll freeze, and that's okay, but you don't want it to go sour. If it gets too warm, the stuff certainly can go rancid on you. So anyways, I hope that's helping out. Like I said, all of our crew is tapping red maple trees, and I have a couple of degrees in forestry myself, and back in the day I wouldn't have believed that you can make really good syrup out of red maple trees, but that's not true. You can. we just have our backyard operations, and then we've built ourselves an evaporator out of a home heating oil tank, like a 250 gallon or something like that tank that we cut the top off of and put a big 2x4 pan. Like I said, I hope to show you that really soon. Anyways, yeah, this is how we store it, and they usually move it with a pump, because once these things get full, you can't move them anymore. And yeah, let's go to the last one and see what we got. Well, I'm finally around to my front lines where I have some other trees. There's a line that goes out that way to the driveway, and a few more out in the front over here, but basically my battery's dying. So I wanted to thank everyone for coming along today to take a little trip around the Maple Road and check on the lines. I'm gonna have probably more coming up. I'm actually next weekend is a big weekend. I'm getting married. Very excited about that, and we're gonna be doing some more actual boiling at our evaporator over at my brother's house pretty soon. So hopefully I'll get some video of that. Actually, my brother and my father have already did a real big pull and a big run over there, and I think they already made 3.5 gallons of Drake maple syrup. So anyways, thanks a lot. Please like and subscribe. It really helps me out. I'm kind of pushing towards hoping to get at least 400 subscribers here sometime in the near future, and I really appreciate everyone watching along and following along with me doing my things. Also, I got a couple of small boat videos that'll be coming up soon. I had picked up last fall. So again, thanks for joining me. Get outside and get your hands dirty, and I'll see you next time.